Hello and welcome to Falcon Blues TV. I'm Callum Davies here with your match preview for this weekend's game, where Everton will be hosting Manchester City in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. It's a 5:30 kick-off on Saturday the 20th of March. We're going to be shown on BT Sport. And before we get into the video, if you wouldn't mind going down, liking, subscribing, we'd really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So obviously Everton come into this game off the back of that disappointing 2-1 home loss to Burnley. And the worst part about that game is the fact that we were just out-fought for 90 minutes. We didn't really look like we wanted to win. And that's just a characteristic that we simply can't have against Manchester City, because we're not going to outclass them. You simply need to look at their squad to understand that we don't stand a chance of outclassing them. We're going to have to battle and actually make them realise that they're in a game of football. It's not just going to be a walk in the park like you would imagine it will be coming to Goodison, because it always is when they do normally. I think the last 6 games we've played against them, they've won every single one of them. The recent form tables between the two sides doesn't bode well, and their recent form in general just terrifies me as an Everton fan. Obviously, before Man United beat them, they were on a 21-game winning streak, which is just something that me and probably any fan in the league could only dream of. It's just unprecedented. They are virtually an unbeatable side. But, like I said, Man United did beat them. So, there's scope there for something, some kind of formula to be copied. Because Man United's team, while they're doing really well in the league, it isn't the greatest side in the world. Their back four isn't brilliant. And their midfield isn't exceptional. McTominay and Fred, are they that much better than, say, Alan and Decore? Obviously Decore won't be fit, but just for example, if we can kind of come together with some kind of model like Man United did, we do stand some kind of chance. But I just feel like we will need a miracle if we're going to beat Manchester City. They've, just off the back of a 2-0 win against Borussia Mönchengladbach in the Champions League, and then a 3-0 win against Fulham in the league before that. And if they were to beat us in this quarter-final, it would be their 3rd FA Cup semi-final on the run. As an Everton fan who's never seen us win a trophy, it's something I can only dream of. Us going to Wembley that many times, it's just an unbelievable side, and one which it's going to take something unbelievable to beat them. The last time we did beat them was 4 years ago now, 2017, the 4-0 win at Goodison, where Tom Davies broke onto the scene. I think that still is Guardiola's biggest loss as a manager as well, which I suppose is something to hold on to, but it's just been so long since we've even threatened to beat them. Even when we've got results against them, we've been holding on for those results. And when we did get that win, I feel like that was in like a teething stage, the early stages of Guardiola's management at City, when he didn't really have the team that he wanted. Now, I'd say they're probably at the strongest they've ever been. So it really doesn't bode well. The last time Everton and Man City met in the FA Cup was 1980-81 season, and they won that after 2 replays, I think 3-1 it was. But the last time that we beat them in the FA Cup was 1966, funnily enough, which obviously we went on to win it that year when England won the World Cup. But we have to beat them first for that stat to actually come into effect. We did play them in the quarterfinals, actually, I think, in that tournament. So, I don't know. It's one of those funny stats where you look at it and you go, oh yeah, but then it doesn't really actually mean anything. It's just something you can kind of cling on to as an Everton fan to give you that little bit of hope, which they'll ultimately just steal away from you when we get whacked 5-0. Obviously, their team and our team alone doesn't bode well if you compare them, but then when you look at the injuries that we have sustained in recent weeks, Decore is obviously out for a lengthy period of time, missed the City game, Pickford injured in the Burnley game, He also won't be fit, and he'll also miss out on the England games, the international break, which will follow this FA Cup match, which is a shame. For him, because he won't be able to stake his place properly for the Euros, which is obviously this summer. Olsen is an interesting one because we still don't know if he's fit. He had this minor injury a few weeks ago when Davies, Coleman and James all had the same minor injury. Well, not the same minor injury, but a minor injury. And Olsen still hasn't been included in the squad. Virginia had to come off the bench for Pickford in the Burnley game. And I thought he did alright. He coped with being thrown on midway through a game quite well, because it's a situation that no goalkeeper can ever really be that prepared for. You never expect to be subbed on as a goalkeeper. I just prefer to have Olsen back, more experience for a game of this magnitude. And James is another one who Ancelotti came out and said that he's not straight up injured. He's just not really that fit, and he keeps getting little niggly kind of injuries that are halting him from reaching 100%. He said that what we've seen of James so far has been 60%, 50%. He said to him in the Man United game, I know you're not fully fit, but can you just play this game for me? And obviously he scored the equaliser in that game, or the first equaliser. And then he got brought off early. And then a lot of the games have been brought off early, so maybe this spell completely out of the team could benefit him, and obviously will benefit Everton when he comes back and is hopefully 100% fit for the run-in of the end of the season, because that's when we'll really be able to stake our claim in Europe. It's just a shame that he will sacrifice this FA Cup match, which is so important as an Everton fan who has never seen us win a trophy. City, on the other hand, no injuries at all from what I read. The Fulham game they went into with a completely clean bill of health. Even Sergio Aguero's fit, who has been blighted, had his season blighted with injuries. He'll be fit. He didn't play against Mönchengladbach, but neither did Jesus. So either of them could start on Saturday, be fully fit, which is a terrifying prospect. We'll talk about that later. For now, Everton's team, what I think that Ancelotti will go with is the 4-4-2 again. Obviously, Olsen will start if fit. If not, it'll be João Virginia. I think he'll play with a back four of Holgate on the right, Godfrey on the left, and I think he'll throw Mina back in alongside Keane. He's just going to play a low block, similar to what he did at Goodison a few weeks ago, which obviously it seemed like it was working all right, and we were limiting their chances until we gave them a tiny bit of space on the edge of the box, and Mahrez scored a screamer from 25 yards. That's what a team like Manchester City does, because they have about 5 or 6 players who could do that. Just flip the switch, win the game. I'd say James is probably one of our only players who can do that, and he obviously won't be fit, which is great, I suppose. Our midfield will therefore be quite defensive as well, because if Dean isn't to play left back, he'll probably play left mid. Iwobi will therefore have to play on the right, and a lot of people have been unhappy with Iwobi lately. He's been quite a polarising player this season, because I'm not sure whether he's actually been good or whether he's been really, really poor. Against Burnley, I thought he did alright. He created a few chances, but because he plays on the right and he's right-footed, and he's not an out-and-out winger who's going to hit the touchline all the way down the line and whip across it, he likes to play centrally. So from the right-hand side, he drifts infield onto his weaker left foot. That instantly just closes off so many attacking options for him, and I think that really makes him a worse player playing on the right. Obviously, he said that his preferred position is through the middle. In the 4-4-2, we don't really play with a number 10, so we probably will have to fit in on the right again. And then the midfield 2 will probably be Alan, and then he'll most likely start one of Davies or Sigurdsson, I'd say. Probably Sigurdsson, so we have some sort of creativity in the midfield. It depends which Sigurdsson shows up. And then the front 2 with Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, who are just going to have to feed off scraps for 90 minutes or 120 if we can take them to extra time. Luca Dean's delivery is what's going to be quite important for giving us any real chances as an out ball. Calvert-Lewin can bully any centre-back in the league, but he had a lot of chances against Burnley. He could probably have won us that game on his own. Obviously he did score, but he had another 2 chances which I can think of off the top of my head, which he really, really should have done better with. Against Manchester City, you won't get that many chances. It's plain and simple. They're absolutely rock solid at the back this season, as well as unstoppable going forward. So when we get a chance, we are going to have to take it, and then we're just going to have to defend for our lives. Man City, on the other hand, like I said, have a clean bill of health, and obviously with the Guardiola tombola that he likes to do, where he just picks willy-nilly. Will he have a striker? Will he not have a striker? It's impossible to predict this lineup, especially in the attack, where he can have one of Mahrez, Foden, Torres, Bernardo Silva playing on either wing, or up front, Jesus Aguero up front. The midfield 3 will most likely be De Bruyne, Gundogan and Rodri. That's been quite cemented this season, as has the centre-back partnership of Stones and Diaz. But then the full-backs could be Mendy on the left, who's fit now. Another player who's never fit but is back for the Everton game. Or Cancelo could play there, who's obviously been given a lot of praise for his inverted wing-back position, which he's been playing. And then Walker could play on the right. And then Ederson will probably, almost definitely be in goal. You look at that team and you really struggle to find faults in it. The defence, on paper, I don't think looks that good. Kyle Walker is fast. He's not a great defender. John Stones, we know firsthand that he's got mistakes in him. And Diaz has obviously come in and been great. But the fullbacks push on. There will be space. But I just feel like it's going to take something really special from Everton if we're actually going to pull a result out of the bag. Whether it be through luck or hard work, I honestly do not care. Just if we can somehow get a result out of this game. I think that our best option to get a result is to press them. And personally, I'd rather see us press them, battle, and just look like we care and get beaten convincingly than just do what we normally do against City and sit back, soak up pressure, and inevitably get beat quite comfortably 2-0, 3-1. And then I just come away from games like that feeling like we should have done more in that game. And I know it's Manchester City. I know they're a massive, amazing footballing side. But Man United showed everyone that they're not unbeatable. They can be got at. And Liverpool in the past have done it by pressing them and forcing them into mistakes. Because you can be the best player in the world, but if you've got no time on the ball and you get strangled every time you get possession, there's nothing you can do. And that's the only way you can stop the best players in the world, of which they have many. So I would rather us push on. I don't think we will do that. I think we'll sit back, soak up pressure, and just hope for a miracle. And that's all we can do, to be honest. And in terms of predictions, my heart wants to predict an Everton win, 1-0, a win on penalties. Honestly, don't care how it would happen, but I'd be insane to not go for a Manchester City win. I will go with a 3-1 City win, because I think 3 of the last 4 times we've played them at Goodison, that's been the result. So I'm basing it off statistics. I feel like that's just to make myself feel better, because it breaks my heart to predict us to lose a game at Goodison. But if you just look at that City team, unaffected by injuries compared to our just destroyed wasteland of a squad, and it's just impossible to look past anything other than a Manchester City win. I hope and pray that Everton can prove me wrong on Saturday, but I just can't see it. But all we can do is just hope. Just please, Everton, give us a result that no one else will expect. Just make our season. This would make our season going to Wembley. Whether we obviously won't be able to go there, but I just feel like this is what we need to really like stamp Ancelotti's like, because I feel like I feel like I'm trying to. Ancelotti hasn't really had that moment where you think, wow, here we go now we're rolling. Because in Martinez's time, there's been, obviously we didn't work out, but there's been moments where you thought, wow, here we go now. Like 3-0 against Arsenal in the season where we finished 5th. And obviously it didn't work out. This result would be that groundbreaking moment which says, right, Ancelotti is here and we are just going to win everything. Not everything, but as much as we possibly can. As much as we can drain out of the poor old man. So anyway, let's just hope for an Everton result. It's all we can do. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what your prediction is, if you're a little bit more positive than I am, and how you think the game's going to go. And yeah, thanks for watching. Up the Toffees.